This is the Makerviews podcast. Welcome to the show. Hey, welcome back. I'm Scott Matson, founder of Makerviews and host of this new season of Makerviews called The Music Makers. I started Makerviews back in 2017, and it's led me to meeting so many amazing makers. Today, now in 2025, I own and operate Missoula, Montana's longest-running recording studio. More about the studio later. This episode's guest is Joel Timmons. Joel is a country singer based out of Charleston, South Carolina. He plays in a variety of different groups and has for many years. We talk a lot about group or band dynamics, as well as dynamics of collaborating musically and professionally with your partner. The conversation spans a lot, and Joel dives deep into his latest album, Psychedelic Surf Country. We made a lot of connections to where I'm based at in Missoula, Montana, as Joel has been here playing different shows. Be sure to get your hands on a copy of his record or catch him on the road. Without further ado, here's my conversation with Mr. Joel Timmons.
Time is passing by, I am learning, but I will die. The time I have right now is just fine. All I really want to do is be right here.
Well, thanks for coming on. I don't know, background-wise, maybe from Maya you got some, and then maybe from IVPR, but yeah, this is Makerviews, and this season is called The Music Makers. So Maya's episode is out, chatting with some other clients of IVPR as well as like local area musicians.
Cool.
And Makerviews background, it kind of aligns with my background of just a wide array of hobbies, and from woodworking to music to working on my 71 classic truck mechanic stuff, just all sorts of stuff.
Sweet.
And I was like, I got to do something music focused. So this season, yeah, the Music Makers, chatting with folks like yourself. So I'm happy to have you on the show, man. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I enjoy automotive tinkering.
Do you?
As well, yeah. But definitely music tends to be my main creative outlet,
So do you have have you had like project vehicles, or what have you tinkered on?
Well, just band vans for the most part, we had like the first band van that Soldier and Train had was a Ford, like a mechanical diesel, I think 7.3 liter. Like an old kind of like an airport shuttle that had then been like a Charleston tour bus, and then we got it, and that was kind of the first, and it was sort of trial by fire of like, okay, on the side of the highway, how do we figure this out? Before YouTube, that's kind of hard to believe.
Oh, exactly. YouTube University is where it's at.
And then we had after that I had a Sprinter van, and then now I've got another Sprinter van, an older one. 2006. So
nice. Very cool. Yeah, I think that'll resonate with, the makers, the ethos of just DIY, and it makes sense. So you've been kind of take us all back on like the history. You at the top here, you were mentioning the band you've been a part of for years. I know you're from South Carolina. What's your whole story on getting to Nashville, into music?
So I grew up in South Carolina, Barrier Island outside Charleston. A very beautiful, quaint place, that's now has gotten like super fancified, as you guys are familiar with, in like Bozeman and Missoula. It's that kind of development is going on for really like 1989. Hurricane Hugo came through and sort of like wiped the slate clean, and since then the development has just been kind of nonstop, and bigger and better and more has been the mode, and it's there's great food in the town, and there's a lot of exciting opportunities, but it has changed a lot since my childhood. But when I was a kid, there was like lots of families. It was a mix of kind of like working class and then like professionals and stuff, and I went to the public high school over in Mount Pleasant, and that town was like, I think it was maybe 20,000 when I was a kid. My dad worked at like a plant nursery that was kind of like on the edge of town, like out on the edge of the country. And now Mount Pleasant, I think, is like 75,000, 80,000 people, and it goes to like 20 more miles out beyond what was the edge of country. It's kind of sprawled out like an Atlanta suburb or something.
Yeah. See, we've got limitations in terms of mountains, right? You can only go so far.
Yeah.
So they're starting to go up, or they're starting to go. We've got Missoula's called Five Valleys, the Bitterroot Valley, Missoula, 5 different valleys, and so it's like people will commute now and drive.
Yeah.
I guess like you just said, 20, 30 miles, but yeah.
Yeah, and I guess Charleston has like the waterways and the marshes are like our geographic limitations, like, there's so much water and so much like intertidal marsh that it's like these peninsulas that get developed, So was in like public school in Mount Pleasant, involved in like the choir and the band programs there, and met friends who like I'm still in a band with, like these guys that I met when I was in 7th grade, were the horn players in Soul Driven Train, which we started like in the year 2000. We were like in college. We started that band, as sort of like a hobby passion project, on the weekends, playing fraternity parties and things. And after we graduated college, I was like a year ahead of the guys, rest of the guys in the band, and finished school, worked for a year, and then traveled for a year, got one of those around the world plane tickets. And sort of in that journey of traveling and introspection, I was just like, well, if I can do one thing on the planet, I think I want to do music, and I think that these guys that I have grown up with are the personnel that can do it. Like, we have something really, really special, and it didn't exactly unfold in the way that I saw it, 20 years ago. But we're still a band, and like, we still love each other. We just did a successful tour down here of 7 shows in 7 days. Challenging logistics, long sets, lots of hollering.
Where's down here again for the listeners?
Oh, sorry, U.S. Virgin Islands. I'm on St. Thomas.
Ocean, poolside, beautiful.
Yeah, that's looking towards the island of St. John and Tortola and the British Virgin Islands. So we played some gigs over there and some gigs on this island.
Sweet.
It's a tour we've been doing since 2010, every winter.
So Soul Driven Train is kind of, we'll get into the relationship with Maya DeVitri, who, as we said at the top, and as listeners know, is like the first guest of this Music Makers Makerviews series. But it sounds like Soul Driven Train is to you what Stray Birds was to her, in a sense of this.
Yeah.
But you're still in it, actively doing that. And I guess you're also playing guitar with her. Like, how many groups are you in?
Yeah. I mean, so Soul Driven Train, we had like about a 10-year period where we were like really pushing hard and living in the van and, playing 100 to 150 to close to 200 shows some of those years. And, like, we gave it our best shot, and it didn't ever like jump that threshold of like ticket sales where it was like, okay, we can support families and do this, like we want to. So as people's lives were getting pulled in different directions, it came to a real like crossroads of like, okay, well, do we want to like change personnel and keep the vision, or do we want to adjust the vision to suit the personnel? And that was the choice we made time after time after time. It's like, nope, we're going to make it work with these guys because that's what the band is, it's like, so I think in some ways, I think like our like mid-level, under the radar sort of lack of like mainstream success is like what, and like our friendship and, loyalty to each other. But like, that's what's given us this longevity and success, is like, just enough good gigs to like keep everybody involved, a little bit of money to pay the rent, but there was never a big pile of money to argue over,
Yep.
or, like big power plays, and I consider
Yeah.
that band like the most long-lived, best sounding, like least successful band. Like that like we got a great sound, we're really tight, we put on a wonderful show, and nobody's ever heard of us, and that's all right.
Man, I wish. I'm sad to have missed you in Missoula when you
We'll
came.
be back. We'll be
River
back for
City
sure.
roots.
Yeah.
Great, great. Yeah, you've got the connections there. Good deal.
Yeah.
I
Every
think
couple of years we'll come back for that one.
what you're saying is so true about the foundation of the relationship, that trust. Without getting too deep into it, I've been in and out of groups where it was kind of like just meeting strangers. So I do my own solo stuff, not just kind of therapeutically, not
Yeah.
really out there playing open mics, writing to
Yeah.
process grief and loss and different things in my life. But yeah, without getting too deep into it, I've been a drummer, like in and out of various bands. And like you say, if there's not that years of trust and relationship built, it can go a different direction pretty quick. But
Yeah. Yeah. It's really, I mean, it's like the greatest treasure that I have is like those relationships, those friendships,
yeah,
and we can come down here for a week and hang out. Some of the guys bring their families, and it's like make money and drink rum and enjoy the scenery, like with your best friends, it's pretty good. So like whatever we, sacrifices of ambition or, like pace that we've had to make to allow for guys to have like agency in their lives, and still be involved, like love the music and not resent it, like I'm
yeah.
proud of those choices.
Yeah, I mean that's good to be aware of that too. That's part of dynamics of bands too. Some people are on totally different levels of kind of
Yeah.
dedication, and or um, just not on the same page. So that's cool. I can't. Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't envious of what you're describing. That's pretty amazing, man.
It's special, man. It is. And not that there aren't like serious like disagreements and major tension and butting of heads and like egos and like all the stuff that goes along with any relationship that's like intimate and lasts for years and years, like
Yeah,
shit comes up, but like
yeah.
we've been able to deal with it as it does,
Hmm.
and like every time we walk through one of those fires, I feel like we get a little stronger, and our skills of communication and trust get better, and I think that's like it's really informed like my ability to be a side man, like in Maya's band, like just that like group dynamics, expedition behavior, communication skills. Um,
So what do you want to do now with your, I want to discuss your solo career a little more in depth. How did you start songwriting? Like you just said, kind of being a sideman with others. When did you say, I want to like step into the spotlight for myself? Yeah.
um, it was, I guess it's been something like in the back of my mind for a long time. I've like,
Yeah.
I don't write songs at like a real rapid pace, but I'm always writing, I'm always working on stuff. And some of the stuff I've written for years has been more folk or country.
Yeah.
And so for when Soul Driven Train was like my only outlet of expression, I was like, okay, this year we're a country band, this year we're a jam band, now we're a reggae band, trying to like force all my different interests into this one bucket, which makes it's interesting, but it was maybe a little bit incoherent at times.
Yeah.
And then I guess it was around 2015 when I was moving to Nashville, and Soul Driven Train was really sort of like unraveling. I wasn't sure if the band was going to continue at that point. Like guys were just ready to quit.
Mm.
Burnout was super high. The trajectory had kind of flatlined, and we were just sort of like not knowing what to do. So I moved to Nashville, continued to play with Soul Driven Train, would fly back to Charleston and do little weekend runs, but started working with my now wife, Shelby Means, on a duo project, Sally and George.
Nice.
And she had around that same time, she left the band Della May. So we were both kind of like, oh shoot, we're out of a gig. Well, how does it work for just the two of us, you know? And
Yeah.
There's a lot of benefits to just a duo, especially like a couple duo, you know, like as far as the efficiency of travel. You can be out on the road having a day off and nobody's missing their loved one, you know. But it also comes with some, like, you know, major risk factors of everything all in one, you know, like your creative life, your business life, your financial life, your love life, and everything's all tied up in one.
You talk about burnout or like imbalance of that could potential risk.
Yeah, boundaries are difficult, you know, like, and it's like when things are good, things are really good, and when they're bad, they're really bad.
Yeah.
So we did that for about 5 years, and actually, like, things were going pretty good for that group leading up to the pandemic. We sort of we had, you know, our third tour to Australia lined up, and we were starting to get hired as side people, like, but together in other people's bands, which is something that we kind of talked about doing. And the pandemic just really kicked the legs out from under us with that project. And we felt all that weight of like, oh my gosh, this is like our music and our, you know, our bread and our relationship, you know. And so it was just kind of in a pressure cooker situation. Went into the studio and it like wasn't working. We were, you know, arguing too much and not, you know, like it's just not working. And before we started that group, we were like, you know, Joel and Shelby first, Sally and George second. If we have to kill the band, we'll kill the band. Let's not ruin our marriage, you know? And we haven't had to do that, but we did sort of take a big step back from it. She got the gig with Molly Tuttle. She's been touring with Molly Tuttle and Golden Highway for the last 3 years. And that's been like a breakneck pace, you know? So I was kind of like, okay, well, my duo's gone. Soul Driven Train only wants to play ever so often. And it's like a pretty pure democracy with that band. So like the idea of going back into the studio with these songs that I was feeling like pretty protective of and really wanted them to come out a certain way, I was reluctant to do that, you know, like, and I'd started being a sideman with Maya and just observing her sort of like blossoming solo career, you know, out of like a really, really great band. And just watching the way that she was navigating that, you know, I was like, I want to do that too. You know, and I also really wanted to sort of capture the 5 years that I spent in Nashville, you know, all these relationships that I'd developed there and these wonderful musicians that I'd met, you know. In 2020, we ended up moving back to Charleston.
Oh, you did? But
I just felt like, gosh, I need some way to like tie a ribbon around the Nashville chapter, you know, and so I asked Maya if she'd produce a record, and we started looking back through my songs, piecing them together and putting the band together.
Man. Well, it's sounding great. You know, like I said, by the time this airs, full LP Psychedelic Surf Country will be out.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate to get the hookup to SoundCloud and listen through. It's great stuff, man. It's amazing. I appreciate the background there too, but yeah, I mean, since you're getting into kind of the process, I'd actually be curious to explore that more. I guess there's kind of a mix of originals and covers, like the Bullfighter, Luke Bell is amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe with that one, Shovels and Ropes, what's her name again? Carrie
Ann Hurst. Yeah.
Yeah, so how'd that come about? Maybe that collaboration and what it, as well as maybe getting into just more of the production process with Maya and
Yeah, it's a cool, that I'm really happy with how that recording came out, and it does very much like tie Nashville and Charleston together for me. Luke was from Cody, Wyoming.
Yeah.
And I think he spent some time at the University of Wyoming knew my wife there, knew my father-in-law
Mm.
at the University of Wyoming, and then he moved to Nashville sometime around the same time I did.
Hmm.
So I would see him at the Five Spot or Dee's Cocktail Country Lounge or the American Legion,
Hmm.
and I just loved that song, The Bullfighter.
Yeah.
The first time I heard him play it, I could swear he was saying, "I'm the biggest bullshitter," And then I went back and listened again. I was like, "Oh no, maybe that's what he meant," but that's not what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I just loved it, and it was really sad when he passed, and lots of people in the Nashville and Wyoming music scenes were really grieving him.
Yeah.
Kind of when we were putting together the track list, and Maya and I had been talking about the idea of like covering a contemporary, like yeah, we could do a John Prine song, but like why don't we do somebody who is in our little world,
Yeah.
and try to lift them up, and I got to see J.P. Harris sing The Bullfighter also at the Americana Awards one year, and it was right after Luke had passed, and he was just like, I just wish that Luke was here to sing this song for you guys, but I'm going to sing it, and that just really touched me, and I wanted to kind of like be a part of that too, because I love his music, I love the record he made, and I love that song.
I mean, I'd say you more than honored kind of the heart of that. And man, it's like next level as far as with Carrie's vocals that comes in, and it just kind of hits you, but it's like an amazing, like, whoa. Yeah.
And we recorded the whole track in Nashville, and then Carrie Ann lives in Charleston, and I've known her like since we were at the College of Charleston the same time. Just been a huge fan of her music and Shovels and Rope, and she's just a great person.
Yeah.
And wanted to have her vocal on the record, and had thought that song would be good, and then East Nashville Cowboy also, and it was kind of like a game time decision to get her to sing a verse, actually, because it was like, I'll have her do harmonies, and then it was like, man, she's so good, like what if we make a duet out of it, and we had to do a little bit of studio trickery, because like when we played it live, I sang the whole thing and played the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So when you pulled my vocal out, you'd still hear it on the guitar track.
Still bleeding there. Yeah.
So we're like, how are we going to handle that? And I was like, it's this song's simple. Just take the guitar from underneath the pedal steel solo. It's the same thing. And I wasn't singing.
Nice.
So drag that over to Carrie Ann's verse and let her lay it down, man. And like when she sang that first note in the studio, all of us were just like the room vibrated, and all the hairs on our arms stood up, and we're like, oh, okay. Yeah, this was a call.
So who's, getting, further into this was, I guess just a collective call. It sounds like it wasn't like Maya as producer being like, you know what, let's do, you said it's game time, but just collectively you decided that, or how'd that look?
Yeah, I think so. And I think maybe it was like that morning. So yeah, Maya came to Charleston. We lined up a studio locally on James Island. Nice. To come in for the overdub. And Carrie Ann was in town off tour, and she met us there, and we had the dog, and it was just like, what do you, I don't even think I told her. I was like, what do you think? Would you give it a shot? She's like, well, it's pretty high, but I'm really going to have to belt it,
Yeah.
We're like, please.
It's good, man.
Please do. And she just did a couple of passes with different approaches on the harmonies, and it's a really, really exciting performance.
Great stuff.
But yeah, and Maya didn't know Carrie Ann personally. She'd seen Shovels and Rope, but I was like, oh, you got to listen to this solo stuff of hers. Like Shovels and Rope is like so much twin, like duo harmonies through like 90% of it, so they have a certain vocal sound, but I was like, just check out her solo records where it's just her, because she's like freaking. She's got Emmy Lou in there. She's got Dolly in there. She's, just some of my favorite female vocalists. Like she has all that.
That's awesome, man. So I guess 2020 was, like you said, that's when you moved back. When did you start writing? And I know that some of it, going back to just to kind of change topics a little bit, I appreciate all the background on that. But Guitars, Guns, and Pickup Trucks co-wrote with your wife, Shelby.
Yeah.
So, when did the writing start? And
oh, hang on. Just got some music bumping in. Let me ask. You can turn that off over here. It's just coming in through the pool speakers.
Oh shit! It's Watch House.
Yeah,
Man,
it's not bad.
Mandolin Orange. We have a venue called the Kettle House Amphitheater.
Yeah,
And who the hell did they open for? I've seen Bon Iver there like 4 times, Justin Vernon. But
we were.
yeah, Watch House played there. I forget who they were opening for, but supporting. But yeah,
I've gotten to go to that amphitheater a couple times. Shelby played there with Molly Tuttle and Golden Highway, opening for Old Crow.
Yeah.
Then last summer I'd hopped on the bus and was traveling with Golden Highway.
Yeah.
And then we went from like Portland to Bozeman, but with a night off in Missoula.
Yeah.
We get into Missoula and I'm like, what's going on tonight? Frickin' Plant and Krause.
I know, man. Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah, so we were in town for that one. We went to the brewery, got on the bus, rocked up, and they're like sold out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and we know some of the people that play in the band. I don't know Robert Plant or Alison Krause, but
Yeah.
we know some of the musicians. But it was like they were like already on stage.
Man.
What are we gonna do? And then we're like, oh wait, I mean, we probably have that contract. We start looking through emails. Sure enough, found the production contact, and I can't remember her name, but she freaking miracled us into the show.
Holy shit.
We're standing out there by the ticket thing, all like on our phones,
Yeah.
And then we're like, yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
So that was like a really, really magical night. I mean, I love Led Zeppelin, and I love Alison Krause, and I love Plant Krause so much.
That's awesome.
I love.
Well, it's cool you have
it was,
that. A lot of folks, I share. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Most folks when I have shared Missoula, there's some kind of connection, Missoula or Bozeman, in this remote format. And actually, I mean, I guess, since we're kind of ad-libbing, we'll get back to the writing. But where I'm at is I actually bought this. It's like an old kind of analog, digital hybrid studio. Live room's over that way.
Sweet.
I can't really move this monitor that much, but my background, I did a little bit of like web development for like a decade's worth of kind of web dev work. And before that, though, I'd had home studios in central Montana, where I'm from. And I lost my dad 2 years ago and said, you know what, man, like I need to get back into doing something that I love. Life's really short. And so for the past year, I was kind of getting back into audio after a decade off and doing the web dev stuff, and apprenticed in a sense with this old timer, like original owner here. He opened it in the 80s. And holy shit, I learned a lot. And so next time you're here, hit me up. It's just called the Recording Center. And
cool.
It would be cool to, I'll come catch all these through lines and connection points. And Sally and George, you're in a lot of groups. So
and Sally and George, actually, there was one year that we played River City Roots too, that Ellen squeezed us on for an afternoon set.
But cool. Well, let's get back to.
You were asking me about guitars, guns, and pickup trucks.
Yeah, the co-writing, exactly. I'm gonna flag this for 31 minutes.
And that one, I think it's all like very factual. All the details in there. Not made up, about my father-in-law who lives down in Laramie. And I think it must have been like 2022 or 2023 that he was fighting cancer. And I just felt an urgency, like as I always wanted to write a song about him, but there was like maybe a timeline, So we finished it. And he's cancer free now,
nice.
And loving hearing that song on the Wyoming Public Radio,
Sweet, man.
But it was like sort of that, that like urgency of the mortality of everything, like, gosh, I love this man so much, and he deserves a song, and I want him to freaking hear it, I don't want to write it after he's gone, and
that's great.
So I'm pleased. He's a real like hard ass, you can tell from the song.
Oh yeah.
He's a total tinkerer. Like he helped. We redid the rear end in one of my Sprinter vans, and we've done a bunch of projects and stuff in his shop.
Yeah, you
He's
talk
a great guy.
about turning wrenches and whatnot in there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. Really cool.
And she, so she kind of like I wrote most of it, but she sort of helped me edit that and come up with a few choice details,
Makes sense.
fact checking all of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, what about was there any other, I guess on the upcoming, I couldn't necessarily see credits in SoundCloud, any other like co-written content or,
Yeah,
co-writes or,
Shelby helped quite like probably about half of them, and just because we're together all the time and or she's just there when I'm working on stuff and I really trust her. Um, the End of the Empire
Mhm.
is like kind of like a rocker. That single's going to come out next week, and she started that one. We were down here 2 years ago, um, and I was surfing. Like it's like a reef break, and some buddies, like you can take a little boat out there. Some buddies were out there in a dinghy, so Shelby came out in the dinghy, we're just hanging out and watching. Um, and when I got back to the dinghy, she's like, I started a song, and she's just like, disappear into the white water, double overhead. You don't have to listen to the music that you're being fed.
Yeah.
And that was it, but like that just landed in her lap.
Jeez.
I was like, that's really cool. So we recorded a little voice memo just of that, and it sat for a while and then at some point I was like, it was when we were starting to work on the record and think about songs. Like, okay, that's one that I should try to finish.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she contributed any more lines to it, but she had the melody in the first line, and then it was like, okay, what chords work underneath that? What kind of chorus does it? And like that one came from a very like subconscious place. A lot of my songs, I'm like architectural or like outline out. Like I know the concept that I want to do. I want to write a song that tells this story or has this perspective, and I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to go here, and then we'll go here.
Yeah.
That one was just like kind of stream of consciousness. I still don't really know what it means. I was processing the loss of a friend,
Yeah.
processing like changes in my family, and having like weird nightmares and like all of that kind of stuff ended up in there. And I don't.
Yeah.
Very therapeutic, and I love singing it too. Even though it's a mystery.
I'm gonna have to dig into that one a little more. Actually, I hadn't. Yeah, no, I appreciate you calling that one out. Actually, you can see I did just stumble upon. You've got all the lyrics right here, so here's all the credits on your website. But actually, you can visually see as you're saying the structure, the format, the architecture of your songs.
Yeah.
This one does stand out as like, oh, that's different. If it was up on a wall, whoa,
Yeah.
quite a bit different, even lengthwise and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Shelby is very like unfettered by convention when it comes to songwriting.
Yeah.
She's a wonderful partner for that.
That's amazing. So have you taken like workshops, or what's your kind of songwriting background? And just kind of curious.
I don't think I've taken any workshops or done any like retreats or anything like that. I would like to. I actually just saw that Mary Gaucher is offering an online workshop. I just read her little book and really just, wow, talk about therapeutic songwriting. But no, like I think I just had like some good English teachers, and like, middle school that like gave me permission to write poems, and made me like feel good about that. And processing my like teen angst, and then at the same time I was starting to play guitar, and was involved in choir and band, and had like other little punk kids that also like had somebody had a drum set, somebody had a keyboard, so we were just like privileged enough to like get to learn how to play these instruments in sort of an unstructured way, and like, oh, let's just make some stuff up, like nobody told us we couldn't, so I started writing songs when I was like 12 or 13. I mean, they're just terrible, but but our parents would let us play them, and um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love John Prine. I love Paul Simon. Um, I love like writers like that can use really mundane details, but that like then substrike some deep chord.
Right.
Um,
That's awesome, man. No, that makes sense. I mean, that experience is, life experience and just inspired by other writers. And you've been around music,
yeah,
like you
and
said, your whole life. And did you pull any of that early inspiration, or is this all truly like newly written stuff from looking back on the 5 years from Nashville, or did you pull any old material?
no, here we are. Is one of the later songs on the thing. That's like one of my oldest songs.
Yeah,
I wrote that in high school,
nice.
and just tuned the guitar to like a weird open tuning and made some shapes and like I don't know. I really love that song.
Yeah,
But that's one that came real fast, and that's I mean, gosh, that song's probably 30 years old now.
nice.
Um,
Yeah,
I recorded it with Soul Driven Train, um, and I actually listened back to that recording. It's better than I remember. A lot of that early Soul Driven Train stuff I like don't ever want to hear.
right.
The vocals are just so juvenile. Um, but I think we improved it. With this new recording, it's got Oliver Wood and Maya DeVitri and Shelby Means all singing harmonies on it. And
Nice.
Dominic Leslie playing mandolin. It's like really much more professional.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'll have to compare the two as well.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like I don't know that I've gotten any better since then. But I've written some other songs. I just want to keep doing it.
Oh, that's great, man. I get it. I'm actually, I'll cut this, but I'm working with a client, a local punk band, and he found some tapes, and having all this analog gear, I was able to transfer it in from 1994. So they did a 30th annual re-release. I mixed the entire album. But he was like, man,
Cool.
it was pretty amazing to hear that. Pretty much keeping the ethos of like they did some bar ambient field recording, so like
Yeah.
pool shots and glass clinking. And I
Yeah.
mean, these guys are actually legit. They opened for Green Day back in the '90s, and it's pretty awesome. Local Missoula punk band.
That's so
But
cool. Yeah, I definitely think I've gotten better at singing and better at playing the guitar.
yeah,
Um,
no, you're a
since I,
great picker. I guess background on that, and then maybe within that too, just kind of like what's some lessons, thinking of other makers and musicians and aspiring artists. What's kind of some of the main lessons that you've taken in this long journey of being around music
whoa, yeah.
that you can impart?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well, like the specifics of like, electric guitar tone is like a lifelong journey,
yeah,
and there was a period with Soul Driven Train probably like around 2010. Um, and I had this huge pedal board, it was like in a giant anvil case. It was as heavy as my amp, and I had delays and filters and wah wah and a couple different overdrives, and
yeah.
um, we were touring with Tab Benoit, who's like a Louisiana kind of blues guy,
Hmm.
and watching him pull tone, rip the guitar with not a single pedal, just guitar into amp,
Hmm.
just it taught me a lot, and also as a performer, you know, like singing the songs, telling the stories, like I'm not doing the audience or the music any justice by like looking down at my feet
Hmm.
and like smoothly executing some like tonal transition. It's like more important for the story to
Hmm.
come across. Um, I do have a little effects processor that I use these days. I did go pure guitar into amp for a number of years, and now I've gradually snuck back in a multi effects processor.
Nice.
But like that's like not where it's at. Like that's kind of fun extra stuff, but it's not not the essential part of like the performance or the music, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, staying focused on the meat and potatoes, you know, and not the sides.
Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense. You can easily rabbit hole down those things, but that's pretty amazing. You just went direct in for a number of years, and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's like with that band, there's so much going on.
Hmm.
There's horns. There's like three different guys singing. You know, there's drums and bass. It's like it doesn't freaking matter. Like the guitar tone, you know, it matters, but it's not a big part of the overall sound. You know,
Yeah.
it's like the snare, the bass, trombone, and the sax. You know, and then three guys like yelling. You know,
Yeah.
so the guitar, like I just realized like to focus on what is important. You know, and not yeah,
Yeah.
not
No, that's
nerd
great.
out too much.
Awesome, man. What about in terms of like life on the road? What are kind of some, some core takeaways? Or I really like that advice, like you said, on the playing side of like, just make sure the story's getting across. Maybe check in with yourself, be curious, be aware. If, yeah,
Yeah,
as me looking down, trying to get these transitions, really, is it additive? Is it kind of subtractive? So, is there things like
right.
that on the road that have come up that, yeah, I'm sure there's plenty, but
A lot. I mean,
like touring. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I've been touring pretty much full time since about 2005.
Man.
Um, so I've probably forgotten more good
Yeah.
like good tour lessons than most people have learned. You know,
Well,
but
I suppose
it's like
maybe,
a lot about just the relationships and the people that you're with. You know, checking in with them, being like extra kind, like you know, recognizing that like we're in a difficult, stressful lifestyle. You know, that like being on the highway all day long, away from people you love, navigating through unfamiliar territory, then to get up and like have like an hour or three of like hopefully musical bliss. You know, but that like that it's tough. It's tough for everybody, and everybody handles that stress in different ways. You know,
yeah.
and so just trying to be kind to the people that you're traveling with, you know, and whatever that means, you know, whatever people need, you know,
Yeah.
um, and like it's like things can really spiral when people when morale is low and then like you're not eating three meals, you know. I think that's another really important basic thing. Make sure you eat.
Yeah.
Make sure you drink enough water. Um,
I mean, yeah.
you know, and that's like a challenge in itself. You know, if you're driving across Montana and there's no restaurants or anything, you better have filled your cooler up.
Yeah. And it's like Cliff Bars can only, maybe
Uh
they can
huh.
only stand for one meal. Yeah. So you shouldn't be doing Cliff Bars 3 times a day. Yeah.
No.
It, well, that's cool. I appreciate that. That's really good. So you talked, I mean, you did just get into caring for yourself, but yeah, caring for others in the dynamic. What about, like leading into shows? Let's say you've had a stressful as hell day. How are there any kind of grounding techniques or kind of what has worked for you to maybe reset if you're just,
Before the show.
yeah,
Yeah. Taking a walk is something that I've definitely tried to do
yeah,
in those situations. You know, like I don't even if I don't know the neighborhood, just go walk around,
yeah,
observe, get my mind out of my mind. You know,
yeah.
um, uh, shot of whiskey, pull off a joint. You know,
Yeah,
have you employed those methods also?
fair enough. Yeah,
Um, uh, yeah, I mean, exercise really is important for my mental health. You know,
mm,
so if I can go for a hike or take a swim, or I'm not really a jogger. I don't really do a lot of running,
yeah.
but I like hiking a lot.
Did you do any around Montana? Get out in the woods at all?
Yeah, yeah. I think last time we were there, we just like hiked up to the Big M,
Yeah,
you know. So not a whole lot, but yeah, just getting the heart rate moving. And
yeah. Yeah, that's Mount Sentinel, and then there's Mount Jumbo where we have an L. Yeah, I mean that's no small feat. There's a lot of locals that still haven't done that, so that's cool. You did. They
we had last time. the last time I think that not this past summer, but the time before that, when Soul River Train had played River City Roots, I was out there in the van because we'd been doing some Sally and George tours. So I had all this whitewater gear. I had like some paddle boards,
Yeah.
like a big inflatable unicorn, and we all put in. I'm not even sure where kind of up there near the amphitheater actually.
Yeah.
Put in just downstream of that, and then floated back to town through the Brennan's Wave and stuff.
Yeah.
Had a really good day of recreation.
That's awesome. That's actually my go-to around here is in 2021, I challenged myself to, so fly fishing is my thing.
Yeah, cool.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to go out every month of the year. And actually, the way that it worked out, my favorite months were like the November through February. Nobody else was out there. I had the rivers to myself. It was peaceful as all hell with the snow and just, yeah. So we're pretty fortunate to be around, blue ribbon trout streams and whitewater lakes.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. You got to experience that.
Yeah, I think the very first time we came to Missoula, we got lined up with some fishing guide and did a drift boat thing. And Wes, the drummer, and I were on there. We didn't freaking catch a single fish, man.
No?
We were tangling our lines up. We were terrible, But the guy was like, "Just put it there," and we're like, we had a fun day.
That's great.
But,
yeah, I mean, wow, that's too bad you didn't catch anything. Was it the Bitterroot? Do you remember? Down like.
I think it probably was the Bitterroot. Yeah.
Probably. Very cool. Well, sweet, man. I mean, this has been an awesome conversation. I don't want to keep us too long. I think we'll probably land at about 45 minutes cut. And
cool. Yeah. We talked about Maya some. I mean, Maya and I met in Nashville. I was like definitely aware of the Stray Birds, a fan of that music. And then in Nashville, because of Shelby's like involvement in like bluegrass, like I kind of came in and just met all the acoustic pickers, Maya and Oliver and Charlie included, and just became like a fan of when she started doing solo shows. Became a fan, was like number one fanboy, and I was number one stan.
Yeah.
And all at the front of all the front row of all those shows, and then Shelby and I sang on one of her recordings, and I guess she was starting to get the fire back to go on the road, and asked me to play guitar with her, and that was like 2.5 years ago, and it's been a great ride.
Well, yeah, I appreciate you coming back to Maya. I'll make sure that comes in, and yeah, I mean, we're obviously social media, but where else can folks find you? Where do you want to send folks? Bandcamp, maybe with the new record, or what?
Yeah, Bandcamp's the best for sure.
Yeah.
I've got a website, but yeah, I would say check me out on Bandcamp, Instagram. I'm reluctant social media user, but I do enjoy photography, so that feels like a pretty natural fit for me.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, and like I said, it may not go out as video, but I'll definitely at least get a screenshot of your background and.
Oh, cool! Yeah. Here
kind of set the stage. I noticed somebody sail by. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Well, enjoy your time there, man, and thanks again for chatting. It's been good to connect.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Scott. I'll definitely reach out when we come to Montana.
Please do. So, similarly to how NPR puts out All Songs Considered, for example, well, the Recording Center is putting out the Makerviews Music Makers podcast. Since 1986, the Recording Center has been Missoula's longest-running recording studio. I bought the business after partnering with the previous owner, who has retired. It's an extremely vibey place with a lot of vintage gear and a lot of great history. So to wrap this up, if you're needing any recording done, come to the Recording Center. If you need any mixing, mastering, editing, and other services remotely, please go to therecordingcenter.com or do it the old-fashioned way and call the studio phone at 406-721-4172.
Hands and feet, dirt and sweat, Mountain Creek, whoa, don't forget, the potting wheel is spinning, just passing by. I am learning, but I will die. The time I have right now is just fine. All I really want to do is be right here with you. All I really want to do is be with you. All I really want to do is be right here